Yo, what's up, guys? On the Lucifer account, and a lot of people have been asking, like, okay, how do you do the progression? Where's the new video? Blah blah. At some point, it kind of got boring because you're just, first of all, just doing Summoner's Way and just following Summoner's Way, and there's not really too much to say about it. Then you just follow Summoner's Way. But afterwards, you get to a few points where I was like, okay, I wrote down a whole bunch of notes. What did I get? Which steps did I do? How did I do it? And I just wanted to make it in one video rather than saying like, ooh, I made a video about getting a crow and then like what the ways to do so. I all want to do that in one video. So what are the main things that you want to focus on after Summoner's Way or during Summoner's Way is getting level ups. Because with the level ups, you get all of those good old glory tower kind of stuff in. But you have to keep in mind, after level 20, you can start doing them, but you can only do like level 5, and then 30 you can do level 10, and then 40 you can do level 15, and then 50 you can do level 20. What I mostly did is at the first 5 levels, so let's say 30 to 35, I start applying these things to just whatever is good. And then I started saving the next 5, because then you can make a big jump the moment you hit level 40, and then you can start adding in speed, attack, crit damage, and that kind of good stuff again. So I would say which are the most important ones to focus on. Speed is the most important. I wanted to wait with this video and also with pretty much doing most of the dungeon things until I had speed tower max. Otherwise, the tuning that I would make, for example, for a specific Teshard team in Giants or also even for R5 might be messed up because I have the wrong speed tuning, because it would change a little bit if I get those speed tuning in later. Then, of course, the damage skills with crit damage, with attack are very useful. These two are pretty useful for R5 as well. And then, of course, the damage on or from wind and the damage from light are very good for the Teshar and the Lucifer, respectively. But I would say most important, speed, crit damage second, attack third. And then I would say these two, or no, wait, these two together with these two kind of like 50-50, whatever you want to do. I did notice the moment I hit level 50, which actually did take me quite a bit of time. After level 50, I started doing R4, and R4 actually makes you get levels super fast, because R4 you actually burn through incredibly fast. So I might have, like, in hindsight, been going fast to R4. But what did I do first? Well, the first thing I did is, I did already showcase in the previous video, I could do Giants. I was just farming a whole bunch of Giants just to get level ups in. This was my Giants team. But at some point, of course, you want to get some replacements. First thing I did was actually going for the 2A, so I made 3 2A so far, and the first 2A that I did was actually the Crow. The second one that I did was, I think, Bella, and the third one that I did was Rogue. And the reason I go for Crow is because you want to use Crow towards R5, but also a whole bunch of other stuff. Bella was good for the dungeon itself in Giant, so that was good for that. And then this is also for R5, but it's not even specifically R5. Because you also want to do your Rift dungeons at some point, because you have to skill up your homunculus. But before you do that, I actually got Bale. And Bale, it was pretty easy to get, because you can get Bale from the achievements that you can get, like the fusion material. So first you get Bale, and then you go to the Rift dungeons, because with a Bale and the Rift dungeons and the Lucifer, it just goes incredibly fast. So let's look at how I did the Rift dungeons. I did change my runes a little bit. Mainly for the Bale, I upgraded the Bale runes a little bit. They look a little bit better than what I did at the start. And this one was actually, now it's runed for R4, but it was more of like just one of those, I think it was the earliest rage set that you get, and this one was the earliest revenge whatever set, like the revenge vampire set. Those are the 2 respective sets I had on those 2 units, and it could already get triple S. And then these runes were just like the whatevers I could find, I could have. They're all kind of bad and that kind of stuff. And yeah, with that, it's just like a bunch of those random runes you got from events and that kind of stuff. And it was really easy to already, as you can see, get triple S's on those. This team, I was using this. I did get Igar at some point as well, because Igar was relatively easy to get. There's an event where you simply just get like 300 of those coins to get an Igar. So Igar, of course, is not skilled up. I think I threw like 1 vampire in it, but currently it's not ruined because I was using fight runes on it. But as you can see, all of those were pretty easy. Of course, I needed a wind homunculus, and wind is also one of the easier dungeons to clear, especially with this kind of team. Just a whole bunch of healers, and then Bale will pretty much just clear that whole thing. But as you guys can see, wow, this one actually did pretty high. But yeah, well, this one as well, damn. Yeah, this one these are the two I farmed as latest, so probably for that reason it goes a little bit better. I think around this time I also had the Eiger. I didn't have the Eiger when farming these that much, so I could probably definitely do a higher one. But with that, it's relatively easy to get all of your homunculus skills in. And the homunculus skills is, of course, this one. Someone was actually asking me, it's like, okay, what is the homunculus build you want to go for? Well, everything related to damage enemy max HP. So damage enemy max HP, damage enemy max HP, and damage enemy max HP. And then you got the homunculus, and then it's pretty simple for that. Afterwards, you can still farm some more giants, because with giants, you could just use this team right now, and you use this, and this was running about like 1 minute 15-ish for me, to 1 minute. And that goes a little bit faster. And then what you want to do is get to level 50. The moment I got level 50, I actually did all of the skill ups on these things. And with all of those skill ups, these things, I was like, okay, now I can do my R4 team. Plus, there is actually an event that you have to focus on from the Sky Coins. And that is also something that I'm going to do after this one. Or maybe during this one. I did get a lot of coins for doing R4. I let it run for R4 quite a while. But you can get hero runes here. And those hero runes, I did already get a few. I got 50. If you get them all on fight runes, you're gonna get insanely good fight runes. Because if they're tanky, you can use them on some of the units in R4. But if you get high damage ones, you can also still use them on some of the units in R4. And it's not a bad way to actually make your full Giants team of consisting only of fight runes. So I'm planning to go for fight runes only. You could, for example, say like, oh, why don't you go Rage? Well, Rage is not used on a Konamiya. Rage is not used on a Prilia. Rage is not as interesting. Or, well, it's kind of interesting on the Lucifer, but also not super interesting, because in the end, if you can just get a lot more fights in, fights will work for everything, everywhere, all the time. Whereas a Rage, you have to be specifically like, okay, I need a 4 set. And in the end, adding in a 2 set is always easier than adding in a 4 set, because you need 4 specific good runes, or at least 3 good one and then 1 kind of mediocre. In this case, with a lot of fight, you can just keep stacking fight all the time. Wouldn't recommend to do fights all the way until the end of time, but we're definitely going to get all of those fight runes in. And this is going to be a lot of fight runes. And with this, I'm pretty sure if I would up these, apply the grinds that I've been getting from R4, I can maybe already make a speed team for my Giants team. But I think I'll leave that for a next video, because this will take me a little bit of time of sorting out and that kind of stuff. But definitely, I do highly recommend going for those fight runes. Then you might ask, like, okay, what kind of R4 team did you use? Because you were saying R4. Because literally, I was going to level 50, and it took me like 45 to 50. It took me like half a day on Giants. It was super slow. The moment I went into R4, and don't get me wrong, R4 is not R5, but the drop table, it's already pretty good. You're not going to get any green ones or white ones. It's just blue, purple, and very rarely a legendary, but it's still good enough to actually farm early on. Plus, it's just super fast. I was doing this with, I think my runs were about like 30-second-ish, and I didn't have the Panda at first, so the Balladion was on this team at first. And it's just simply using a Bale mechanic where you have the Bale moving, and you have the Lucifer moving right after that. So the Lucifer's kind of in a spot where you only have one option left. It's never going to be faster than 30 seconds because the Lucifer is moving after. But because the Lucifer is moving after, you do have a lot of time for your other teams to also to get their skills in. So with that being said, it's just super easy, a clear of like 30 seconds of R4. R4 is actually very easy to clear in the first place. I'll showcase all of the runes in a second, because you're going to see I focused on the team that is doing the main killing the most. The other units are just really poorly run. Plus, you're going to get a lot of these coins over here. And getting a lot of these coins over there is the ones that you're going to be trading towards the fight runes. So this is definitely a super fast way to get all of those fight runes in. And if you check this, this is all just whatever rune. I did, of course, add in as much fight runes as possible. Whoops. Removing one of those units. But I wanted to click on it. Why is it not clicking on it? It is clicking on it, kind of. But yeah, as you can see, the fight runes are super all over the place. Might you ask, like, oh, how strong is your bill? Actually, well, I couldn't get this one fight rune to a bill. I did farm a little bit of Punisher Script and Steel Fortress as well, just get some artifacts in that make a little bit of sense. Preferably where you have your crit damage skill 3, like a little bit higher than that. But I think I just farmed B7s on both. Now, even SF, I farmed like B4 or 5, because the mechanic with the buff block was a little bit annoying, but BC was a little bit easier, but I did B7s, also not that high. And this, for example, is also just bad, like 40 crit rate. It's super bad, but if you check the runes on these things, these are even way worse. Like all of those units are having like near to no runes, no sense-making runes, have grinded runes, or not grinded the runes at all. I didn't place a single grind yet. All of those runes are not grinded, but I mean, a lot of these runes are just not even up yet or barely up yet. This thing I forgot to give artifacts. But as you can see how wonky my R4 team is, and it still works. Like you might ask, like, oh, this one, oh yeah, that's kind of bad as well. Crit rate non-existing. So all of those units are just literally like horrendously bad. And they still make it work to already get an R4 team. It's just because you have this team running. And of course you have that Lucifer. If you don't have a Lucifer and you're watching this video, and you're like, what should I do without a Lucifer? It's definitely very doable. You just need to put extra damage here and then you just go for the typical build team. I would say that these teams by itself are definitely solid teams out there. It's definitely something that could work. In the position over here, normally you have this lead actually over here. You don't need the speed lead. You can place like a better lead in here, and therefore you can go for like a 33 attack lead in one of the other positions. Or let's say you remove this unit and you put an Elsharion here, then you have like a 33 lead, or you go for some other like general crit rate lead and you can lower the crit rate on everything. That's normally what the Lucifer slot is at, and then that unit would normally just die. But in this case, Lucifer's in there. The only good lead that I can take is the Lauren lead. You could actually put Shina in here, Shina, and then have a 33 lead, but Shina is a little bit worse than Lauren, especially if your rune quality for surviving is not that great. The pushbacks of Lauren help a lot. And I would highly recommend to put this team towards the left, and your tanky team in the middle, and then your team that is more YOLO on the right. Because that means if you would put your Bale team in the middle, both of the other two teams would start focusing the Bale team the moment that they would happily die, which could happen at some point. If the team is on the left and protected by the middle team, which is the more tanky team, then if this team dies, it starts focusing this as well, and at least it doesn't kill your Bale team. So that helps out a little bit to get your runes in, or just to get your runs in and not die that way. And yeah, I've been running this for quite a while. I've been getting all of those fight runes right now. And I think with all of those fight runes, I could maybe get towards R5. If I then also use my grinds. I don't really have the will runes. That's kind of the issue about R5. Is that you also kind of need to get your will runes correct before you can actually do anything. But yeah, as you can see, I've been farming all of this. I actually saved everything that came in. But if I can do all of those grinds right now, I can probably upgrade a lot of stuff. I will get all of those fight runes in. And then the big question is, can I already do a fast enough Teshar with a Homunculus and Lucifer team to be actually clearing a speedrun on Giants? Then I'll probably go back to Giants for a little bit. And then the next question is going to be, can I actually also use that towards R5? Might have to get a little bit of will runes, but if I have to get will runes, I probably just abuse that event that I just got all fight runes. I probably just take that one for a few sets of fight as well, or a few sets of will as well. And then from there, we just see how it goes. And as you can see, I don't really do enough damage exactly for the Bale to be killing. Maybe I need like a little bit better artifacts for it. That would help out a bit if I just get like one crit damage skill 3 artifact on it. But since the Lucifer also moves all the way at the end, it just gives it extra time for that team to even have a build that just does like 66k, which isn't that much, to actually make it work. Plus, if I get better fight runes on these units, it will definitely help out a lot. So that's my video for now for today. Main thing is you want to get a lot of those coins in. R4, you get a shit ton of those coins in. So in hindsight, would I say maybe try to get faster towards an R4 team? Maybe, could be. Like I definitely noticed it started speeding up a lot the moment I got my R4 team in. And I didn't even use the grinds yet. So the moment I start using the grinds, if you go from no grinds whatsoever, because if you check these runes, they're like 0 grinds on it whatsoever. This one is then one of the runes that I got from the Dimensional Rift thingy from the month. But yeah, if I start using the grinds on these, I will insanely boost my damage output by a lot. I will get a lot better fight runes from the ones that I just claimed over here. And that will be the next video. Let's see if I can already make a speed team in Giants. My fastest run in Giants, or my runs in Giants, are about, I think it is about 1 minute something for fastest. Let's actually see. Yeah, it's just over 1 minute. I definitely do think if I get all of the good grinds in and the whatever's in, I will make it faster. There's only one thing, however, this needs a very specific tuning for, or a very specific tuning. I actually got a bunch of comments saying specifical is not the word, and then you Google dictionary, specifical, synonym to specific. Oh, whatever. Probably they're right, I'm wrong, I don't know, but the dictionary says it exists. I'm used to specifical. I don't care. However, sidetracking. This thing needs a specific speed for it, and if I have it working for R5, it will not be exactly working for Giants Keep Abyss Heart. So I would have to switch between one and the other if I would like to switch that. Of course, at some point you might say like, okay, I just put Lucifer towards one of the other teams or anything like that. I'm not 100% sure how you want to do that without switching runes all the time. Or you just say like, I farm R5 for a whole bunch of time and then I stop farming R5 and I actually make it towards triple fight. Just put it in the normal dungeons and then keep it that way. We shall see how that goes. But that is an update and all of my recommendations of how I recommend to progress. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and see you as always in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab, which has the dungeon guide archive and the video guide archive, which contains all of the guides that you need. Hope to see you there.